I was privileged to hear this advice years ago from my grandfather. Always surround yourself with people smarter than you. That's a big reason I started this show, is to meet, greet, and pass on information that we can all learn from. Our next guest did just that. He was back in Atlanta returning. He lives up north. Taylor Branch, Pulitzer Prize winner. His book, Parting the Waters, was all about Martin Luther King and his impact on America. Well, he's followed that book with a series, including this one, The King Years. I had a chance to meet up with him when I talked to him on the radio. Let's hear it. Taylor, it's great to welcome you back to Atlanta. Why this book? Why now?
Well, this book is my life's work. I grew up in Atlanta during the Civil Rights era, the son of a dry cleaner here, not interested in politics, but the Civil Rights movement was my whole childhood, and by the end I was just stunned by where it came from, and I've spent most of my life writing about it. This book is a condensation, a short distillation of the 18 most essential moments in the civil rights movement between 54 and 1968. It's kind of like a reintroduction and reinterpretation of a transformative era in our history that I grew up with.
Of those 18 events, which one were you not aware of but had a significant impact in the long run?
I think probably the most significant, beguiling one is 1964. The year of Freedom Summer, the year the Civil Rights Bill passed, was also the year when the Democratic Party and the Republican Party switched places in American history over race. The Democrats went from the century-long party of segregation and the solid South Democrats that controlled everything in the South. We didn't even have Republicans in the South, to the party that tried to have and still tries to have cross-racial coalitions. And the Republicans went from the party of Lincoln, the party of race since the Civil War that we're celebrating in the Lincoln movie now, and didn't exist in the South. I didn't know any Republicans. They were scarce as polar bears. But as soon as Barry Goldwater announced that the Republican candidate for president was going to vote against the Civil Rights Bill in 1964, Republicans sprang up in the South. And the race that we always often like to deny has much to do with politics had the power then and still had the power to turn partisan politics upside down.
As you've done the research on Martin Luther King, what has impressed you the most about him as a person?
His depth and his stability, his ability to talk about religion and politics every day, all the time, and never be accused of mixing church and state, which is a miracle, because he was so gifted in putting one foot in the Constitution and one foot in the Scriptures and not trying to subdue one with the other and just saying, either way, whether you're interested in equal votes or equal souls, this is a story that involves your dearest beliefs, and follow me.
Well, it's an amazing, impactful story in the fabric of our country. You won a Pulitzer Prize. What is that like? How did that change your life?
Well, they told me, that's a long time ago now, 1988, for the first book in the King series. They told me you already know what's going to be in the first sentence of your obituary, that it's a Pulitzer Prize. It does go, it gives you a platform and a standing to say that at least you're trying to do serious work. And for that, I'm grateful, because I think that it helps people pay attention to something that's vitally important.
And what is important is this book, the history of it, given your success and what you've written about Martin Luther King. What advice would you give to others living out their dreams?
I would say study this history, not because it's about the obscure past when black people had to sit in the back of the bus, but because it's about your future. It's about how Americans learn to tackle their toughest problems that people don't think they can solve. And that sense and that confidence and that ability to reach across the line that divides us is really our hope for the future, not a relic from the past. So to me, American race relations from this period is really a measure of how healthy we are as a society, how well we remember it, how well we prepare for a future that's informed by it.
Well, thank you for writing about it, for being an example of it, and all Godspeed.
Thank you, Conn. Nice to be here.
Taylor Branch, thank you. We salute you for the work that you've done, bringing books like this to life so we can historically understand the significance of Martin Luther King. We'll be right back.